At the Greensboro Day School on this cloudy Wednesday, the lesson in Jenna Gilfillan's Global Studies class
Yeah, and I want to work with you on that.
is about seeing a new light.
So as a reminder, KED stands for kindness, empathy, dignity, and diversity.
They're learning to talk about things like race,
racial injustice and stuff. I felt really uncomfortable talking about it.
And diversity.
I didn't have the privilege to talk about, race because I'm white. That's just something I feel like you're pressured to think.
To a degree, the lesson is about skin, but not its color.
A lot of minority myth is this stereotype everyone has that Asian Americans are super smart and they're really shy and they have strict parenting.
But about being comfortable in the skin each of us is born with.
And it puts immense pressure on their backs to live up to these expectations. At least I know it did for me.
The program is called Get in the Game, and it's the brainchild of former baseball player Kevin Jordan.
Those are all international issues.
And his coach at Wake Forest, Tom Walters.
There's a closeness there that it's hard to describe.
Kevin was an elite athlete who chose to play baseball to a large degree to honor his grandfather.
He was around before Jackie Robinson. He's 101. So there was no league for him.
Back in 2010, before Kevin had ever played a game at Wake Forest, Coach Walters had him come to Winston-Salem because Kevin wasn't feeling well.
When Kevin got here to Winston and we had that first meeting with Dr. Friedman, he looked Kevin and his parents in the eye, and I was in the room with Jeff Strom, our trainer, and he said to them, medication is not going to fix this. You have to get a new kidney.
Both of his kidneys were failing, and no one in Kevin's family proved to be a match.
For some reason, right from that initial doctor visit, I felt like it was going to be me.
Coach Walters and Kevin did share the same blood type, and when it comes to his players,
I'd give the shirt off my back to any one of them for any reason at any time.
And in February of 2011, Coach Walters gave more than his shirt.
I feel better already, even though the soreness.
He donated his kidney to Kevin.
Easy decision, no brainer. Best decision I've ever made in my life.
Walters returned to his team.
All right, well, let's get to work.
And Kevin eventually joined him, but he wasn't quite the same player.
When I was in high school, I had a certain chip on my shoulder from being usually the only black kid on the team. After the surgery, after transplant, after just that perspective change, I never got that chip back.
After college, Kevin got on with his life, but when the racial unrest surrounding the death of George Floyd began this summer, Coach Walters called former players to check in and found Kevin's perspective on life unique.
It's been a lifetime of me realizing that me having both parents, both grandparents, how privileged I was.
That put Kevin in a position to talk to kids in a different way.
If there was no Frederick Douglass, there'd be no Barack Obama.
And Get in the Game was born. It's a project Kevin and Coach Walters created to get kids talking about difficult subjects.
It's having kids think a little bit and learn a little bit about who they are, what they believe and why, and then compare and contrast that with other classmates who have maybe sitting right next to them and have a very different experience.
Racism isn't just a black person issue, it's it's everybody's issue. Every kid has an issue. Every kid sees inequalities. Whether you're white or black, one may be a victim and one may be the perpetrator, but we all know that there's an issue there, and I think kids pick up on that more than anybody.
The idea is to invest in the minds of today's kids, which will pay off for generations.
If people were to see what happened to George Floyd and then also see what happened between me and Walt, they have to have a conversation now.
A voice they hadn't considered before.
A conversation of healing that goes far beyond a new kidney. Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.